Hi guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and believe it or not, this is my first Condor knife. This is the large Bowie, I forget exactly what they call it, but made in El Salvador, black coating. You can see on this blade here, I've used this guy a fair bit, and I've done a fair bit of chopping with it. Nice leather sheath, nice belt loop here, got the Condor logo there. It says El Salvador on the sheath and on the blade, so they're both made in El Salvador. They did a really good job with this sheath. I'm very surprised for the price of this thing. I bought mine at Blades Canada, also known as warriorsandwonders.ca. It's got a hollow grind and quite thick behind the grind, which you need to have. If you're going to have a hollow grind knife for outdoor bushcrafting style stuff, you need it to be fairly thick behind the grind, or else that edge is going to break when you chop it or wreck or get toasted somehow. Really nice stitching, nice rivets. And believe it or not, I use this to cut this out. Okay, don't believe it, because it's not true. But stick around for the full review and see what this can do. All right, so let's take the Condor Bowie and do some chopping. Not move that out of the way a bit more. Yeah, broke through part of it. It's fairly old wood, but there we go. Let's try it again. All right. Ta-da! This is a great knife. You can tell by all this wear, I've done quite a bit. And I've done quite a bit because I enjoy this knife a lot. It chops very, very well. Edge, still sharp. You can see I'm shaving some of my nail off right there. I like my Condor. Let's try making a feather stick with a Condor. I could go on for a whole lot of strokes, but you can see there already. Yeah, not a problem. Works quite well for that. Quite well indeed. One of the limitations of the Condor is that there are no 90-degree corners to strike a ferro rod on. You know, you just can't. There's just nothing that'll take it. You'd have to file off an edge here. That's probably what I would end up doing. File a flat spot right there. You could use just a little bit of the cutting edge right here at the end of, just before the ricasso right there. I'd probably stay away from using the tip. As you can see from the wear on this knife, see it best on this side, this end gets used very little, except for when you're making maybe feather sticks or something. You're mostly chopping and cutting with the belly. And so that's not too bad of a sacrifice of your cutting edge right at the very edge there, to just sort of use that for making sparks. If you do it this way, like I was just starting to show you, you're just going to slice off. You got to lean it back. And as you can see there, you can send stuff just flying, no problem at all. Let's take the measurements of this beast of a knife that we have here. Cutting edge, 27 centimeters, which is 10 3/8 of an inch. Blade length is measured from right up here to the tip, 11 inches, just over 11 inches, just barely. 28 centimeters is a pretty good number for that. Blade thickness, they're calling it 5 millimeters. I measured 4.66 millimeters, which is 0.183 inches. And look at this hollow grind. And did you see all the performance? Yes, a hollow grind can perform wonderfully for bushcraft work, for chopping, for batoning, if the thickness behind the grind is enough. Thickness behind the grind here is 0.9 millimeters, which is 0.035 inches. So contrary to the opinions of some, hollow grind does not equal crap. Yes, I like saber grind. I like full flat grind. Those are really great grinds. They're great for chopping and batoning and all that other good stuff. But hollow grind can be good as well. I wouldn't want to do too much tip tests, especially with this guy, because it's such a small piece of steel there. But I don't do tip tests anyways, because I would never do that in real life. So why test it that way? You know, if I want to stick something in a piece of wood and bend it, I'd get a pry bar for that, because that's what they're designed for, right? So use the proper tool for the right job. That's my idea anyways. All right, the handle thickness is 2.9 centimeters. That's 1.15 inches. The handle length is 17.15 centimeters, which is 6 3/4 inches, 6.75 inches. The grip area here is 10.4 centimeters, which is 4.1 inches. The total length of this knife is 44.45 centimeters, which is 17.5 inches. She's a beast. Great handle shape here. Your hand gets locked in there. It's not sliding forward. It's not sliding back. You've got a nice lanyard hole here so you can wrap it around if you want to. But I've got large size hands that border on extra large, which means plenty of room for a guy with extra large hands in here. And you'll get such a really good grip in here that you're going to love it. Somebody with small men's hands, this is a little bit too thick for you, I think, probably. Medium depends on where you are on the medium range. If you're really close to small but still medium, you might want to handle one of these in a store or a friend's first before you buy your own, just to see if it's good enough for you. It's also a heavy knife. The weight is 646 grams. That's 1 pound, 6.8 ounces. With the sheath combined, it's 815 grams. That's 1 pound, 12.7 ounces. MSRP by Condor for this knife is $74.99, and that's what it costs on their website. Where can you buy this thing? Well, don't go to Amazon. This is one time. Amazon.com is expensive. Amazon is $86.87 US. Go to Knife Center or Blade HQ. They both have this for $63.73. It's weird how they both have the exact price down to the penny. And such an odd number, $63.73. In Canada, if you want this knife, you've got some good prices. It's better than the exchange rate. So technically, the price is better in Canada for this knife than it is in the States. Unbelievable, but it does happen the odd time. Amazon has it for $76.88 Canadian. Blades Canada, which is Warriors and Wonders, they've got it for $74.99. So you can either get it for 75 Canadian or 63.73 US. Prices in other countries, you'll just have to look that up for yourself. I don't have it. So what do I think of this knife? I have enjoyed it to no end. Ooh, starting to rust there. I need to take better care of it. Maybe that's just dirty. But yes, I've enjoyed this to no end. It still has the factory edge on it. It still passes the nail nick test, even right down to the end of the blade. And you can see how I've wore it out already, wore the powder coat off of it. This is a black epoxy powder coat, which is a good durable finish that I like quite a lot. And you can tell I've mostly used it for chopping right in that area, and it just takes a beating and keeps on going. Yeah, it'd be nice if it had a little sharpener's choil, but big knives like this, no, it's not as big a deal as it is on a small folder. You can use this spot up here to sneak up if you're making feather sticks or something. It helps the balance of the knife just a little bit more in your hand. The balance point is just about not quite an inch, right around an inch into the sharp edge right there. Yeah, make it go flying. So balance point is right about there. So it is forward heavy. Pros, leather sheath. I like this leather sheath. It's really well done. Good quality, made in El Salvador, just like the knife is, made in El Salvador. It's got a nice pivot, kind of dangly kind of sheath here. 2-inch belt can fit in there just fine. And you can use this to create a separate dangle if you wanted to. But it is quite a bit of length hanging down already. There is no hole on the bottom of the sheath for drainage. So I might end up taking a little bit of a knife and just cutting, or a drill or something, making a little hole at the bottom. Chances are very low that I'm going to be taking this thing outside in the rain. I'm one of those day camper kind of guys, or I'm at a big campsite, something like that, usually. So yeah, but maybe it's a good idea anyways. But it's nice, good grain leather. There's the Condor logo right there. Well sewn, put together fine. I like that quite a bit. Other pros, the handle is a good material, and it's grippy enough without being, too aggressive. This is a working knife. It's not designed for looking like something special to put on your shelf. This is something for you to go out there and have a great time whaling on something, taking care of something. And yet, if you do get into a situation, maybe with a wild boar, maybe you're wild boar hunting, this can work as a pig sticker if you need it to, because of that nice Bowie point up here. You can sharpen it a little bit extra. Maybe you can sharpen the first inch on this edge as well. Not super sharp, but just enough so that it'll help penetrate into the hide of a thick-skinned animal. It's a good knife. I like it quite a lot. I've used it quite a lot, and I'm going to keep using it. This will not be put on the list of knives that I'm willing to sell because I like it too much. And yes, I'm saying that about a hollow grind. Contrary to the opinion of some. But I'm my own man. I don't follow necessarily what other people say. I look at the logic. If you have a hollow grind that comes too thin at the edge, yeah, it's going to fold over, it's going to bend, it's going to, not work at all. But as long as you have a thick enough behind the grind edge right here, a hollow grind works fine as an outdoor knife. It's not a problem. It's not a big, bad, beastie thing. Some people should have known that companies like Schrade, 9 out of 10 of their knives, they're hollow grinds. So there you go. 1075 carbon steel. Looks good, works good, feels good, is fun to use, and the sheath is a big plus as well. And for the price that it costs, no problem. I recommend this thing all day long. And there you are. Remember always to like, subscribe, comment, share, and then chop towards your chum, not your thumb or your toe.